Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox, and it is the last of the long forms of the day. And so, as it is my last opportunity to ask you to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Both of those massively help the channel, especially at the moment with all the shenanigans that YouTube are doing. So, if you hit that subscribe button, if you're yet to subscribe, that would go some way to making us get the news out to a wider audience and a stronger participation. You all need to be aware of a lot of the stuff that's happening, especially with an election year coming. But today, of course, was John Swinney's first FMQs. I mentioned it earlier at the time when I was recording one much earlier, that at the time he hadn't done them yet. Well, we've done them now. We're going to have a look at it. It wasn't good. It really wasn't good. Now, we do like to finish the day on something light, and I think laughing at John Swinney and his weird excuses for why he was really rubbish at FMQs is such a thing. So let's get in, have a look and see why, after 17 years, John Swinney isn't really used to answering questions. Or if he is, he's great at not answering them. Here goes. So, desperate, John Swinney fails to answer questions on education as he's only been in the role for 48 hours. Now, the initial reaction to that by anyone who knows anything about Scottish politics is, what a complete load of absolute BS that answer is. He was the Education Minister for 5 years. How can he not know about education? How can he not know about the plans that he helped draft and draw up? How can he not possibly know this? It's absolute rubbish. The new First Minister faced MSPs for the first time since taking over from Humza Yousaf, but excused himself from answering questions in full due to only taking on the role this week, despite being in government for 16 of the last 17 years. And the SNP have been, for the 17 years the SNP have been in charge for, and he's still looking, isn't he? Still looking like that demonic Klaus Schwab and Rupert Murdoch love child. It's weird now. I cannot unsee this. I just cannot unsee it. It's just a weird look. Anyway, John Swinney was accused of utilising the same old excuses as he refused to answer a question 4 times about whether he will live up to the SNP promise of adding 3,500 teachers. I did this story earlier, and effectively, no, they haven't got the money. They can't come out saying they're not doing it, so they won't. But the very simple thing is, if you cannot say yes, then whatever comes out of your mouth that isn't a yes, it means the answer's no. So, will you keep your promise? Well, you have to say it means no. That's how it works in politics. If they can't say yes, they mean no. And so, no, they're not going to keep their promise. But he couldn't say it. And 4 times he was asked, and 4 times he failed to answer, because he knows the answer is so appallingly bad that he would instantly be castigated in all the press. Yes, we know that there's trouble in Scotland schools. We know there aren't enough teachers. We know we have to pump any more, loads more in. Are you going to do it? No. Why? Money. We've spent it on road signs. The new First Minister faced his first FMQ since being parachuted into place to replace Humza Yousaf, and described how the last 2 weeks was traumatic time for the party. However, he parroted the same lines about success that the Nationalists have had in education, even though it is a complete lie. They've fallen down in every world rankings, and it got so bad under his tenure, it must be said, that they stopped even publishing the results so that the league tables wouldn't reflect them. That's how bad it was. Third world levels of education. And he says, oh, we've got a real success. Well, if you're measuring success by the fact that we want to eradicate education from Scotland, then yes, it could be said to be a success. Scottish Tory leader Douglas Ross highlighted the hundreds of teacher jobs being cut by cash-strapped SNP-led Glasgow City Council. 450 jobs there on the line, ready to go, because they too haven't got the cash. And he asked Mr Swinney to dissuade fears that the flagship teacher vow would be dropped 4 times, but was rebuffed each time. The new First Minister even used the excuse he'd only been in the job 48 hours for failing to ask questions about the state of schools and education in Scotland. Ross called him out for offering the same old excuses as his predecessors. And he said John Swinney's record in education is one of broken promises. He introduced a flagship education bill that could have improved standards, then abandoned it. He promised a free laptop for every child. That hasn't happened. 3 years ago, the SNP said Education Scotland would be reformed. Nothing has happened. The government he served in promised that the SQA would be replaced, but it's still here. John Swinney served as the Education Secretary from 2016 to 2021. I said it was 5 years. During that time, education was supposed to be the SNP's top priority. They wanted to be judged on their education record. And when John Swinney was in charge of Scotland's schools, results fell to record lows in the OECD's PISA rankings. These tests measured performance in maths, reading and science. And as they say, they got so bad, they actually stopped publishing them because they were so embarrassed. They were absolutely so embarrassed. And then there was more questions. We went on. One of the interesting ones, I'll probably do the story about it tomorrow, was Patrick Harvey got up and was moaning at old Klaus here and saying, isn't it terrible that you've got Kate Forbes in there? All the gay people in Scotland now will feel threatened. No, I don't believe there's a single gay person in Scotland that will feel threatened by Kate Forbes. Not one. Not a single one. Harvey is just full of it, isn't he? I didn't know that they stacked it 5'2" high, but that's how high they stack it, and Harvey is there. Anyway, I'll round off, we'll come up and we'll finish the video. But don't forget to hit sub. Subscribe, it's very important. Bloody YouTube. It's annoying me, YouTube, now. Anyway, coming up. If this is the standard of FMQs going on, it isn't going to be good, is it? I don't think Swinney is good at being questioned. He doesn't have the answers to hand. He bullshits about, oh, I've only been in the job 48 hours. You've been in the job 16 years. 16 out of the last 17 years. 5 years in education. You can't alter an education policy. Your policy, the policy you promised and you brought in, and you can't answer it. Don't give me that about I've only been in post 48 hours. That is horseshit. You know it. We know it. Everybody knows it. Anyway, we'll stop there. Now, this is going to sound counterintuitive, I know, and it's weird. But if you're leaving a comment and then that comment disappears, leave a comment, let me know, right? And also, and the other thing is, go onto YouTube and Silver Fox. You'll see the icon. It's my icon. Go and check out that. I drop stuff up on there. But if you want to put things up, I will answer and talk. And you can do it on Messenger as well. You can get me that way. Happy to do that. It gives a stronger link. And it also means that if anything happens on here, I can still contact people there. It's just an easier way. It's just that back door of contacting. So do please check out the Facebook page. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Go and have a great evening. I'm going to go and do some chores and make some dinner. I've got I don't know, chicken tonight or something. It's Thursday. Can't be asked to do anything complex on a Thursday. But you have a great time. There will, of course, be some shorts. So I don't know, by the time you see this, you've probably seen a few. There might be a couple after. Who knows? Keep safe. Keep watching. Hit subscribe. Hit like. Check out the Facebook page. And I will see you when we start this whole busy ride again tomorrow. Bye.